This beautiful Saturday morning with Doug Wendt of the Cardinal Cancer Foundation. Welcome, Doug.
Good morning, Marissa. Thank you for having me.
I'm so delighted to be speaking with you. This has been a really special week. My company, WordTree, has partnered this week with the Cardinal Cancer Foundation to raise funds and raise awareness for the health issues that face women, the circumstances surrounding that, early detection, opening up the process of conversation around an area that sometimes is trivialized or dismissed, especially when it comes to women's sexual health, and supporting women who face a journey with ovarian cancer. What I would love to do is have you tell us a little bit about the Cardinal Cancer Foundation. And I want to let folks know as well that any items that they purchase with me through tomorrow is the last day of this particular initiative, although I see many, many more in our future. 10% of anything that you purchase with me through tomorrow, Sunday, May 17th, will be donated to the Cardinal Cancer Foundation. And I will put links underneath this video when it publishes. But I want to reiterate that you can donate to the Cardinal Cancer Foundation without buying a thing from me. And you can do it all the time, any time of the day or night, 365 days a year for this very worthy cause.
Actually, 366 in a leap year, but yes.
There you go. Right. Don't forget that leap year. Doug, tell us a little bit about the founding of the Cardinal Cancer Foundation, if you would.
Sure. So the Cardinal Cancer Foundation was founded 2 years ago, and it exists to empower women to protect their health first. And the reason for that has to do with a very personal journey. My late wife, Alice, passed away after a 2-year journey with ovarian cancer. She was diagnosed at age 42. She lost her life to the disease just months shy of her 45th birthday. And we went through a very, very wrenching journey, not only with the disease, but also with the challenges of coming to the realization of how many potential missed opportunities there were to either identify it earlier or avoid risk factors that may have contributed to it. And so it is really, that really reflects the two aspects of our mission. We have two sides to our mission. One is to help women who are confronting ovarian cancer in that journey. And we do that largely in partnership with some other wonderful organizations that are actually delivering on the ground clinical and psychological support. And then the other side of our mission is to empower women to better understand their own health, their own bodies, and the social and psychological factors that may have worked against them, listening to indicators or being more aware or being more forceful in advocating for their health, all of which compounds the dangers of a disease like ovarian cancer in a way few other diseases can lay credit to.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. You segued beautifully into my next question, which was, what are the goals of the Cardinal Cancer Foundation?
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit in more detail about some of those societal or cultural factors that make this particular type of health issue so difficult to get a handle on for so many women?
Absolutely. So first of all, let me come at that from the perspective of putting a little bit of a framework around ovarian cancer and around the issue of gynecological cancers in general. Ovarian cancer is one of the deadliest cancers that women can face. It is much less prevalent. In fact, it is 1/10 as prevalent as breast cancer and 10 times as deadly. So even though we don't hear nearly as much about ovarian cancer because it doesn't affect as many women, it actually takes as many lives as breast cancer in any given year. For a woman, the lifetime risk of developing ovarian cancer is 1 in 75, and the lifetime risk of dying from ovarian cancer is 1 in 100, which is much higher than people realize. The trick here, or the challenge, is twofold. Less than 25% of cases are identified in their early stages. The vast majority of women who confront ovarian cancer have it discovered in stage 3 or stage 4. And on top of that, those that are able to successfully respond to the cancer with chemotherapy and surgery and the other sort of first steps, and are declared no evidence of disease, or what we might say healthy again, almost 80% of them are likely to have a recurrence of this disease. Okay, so that it's a very hard disease to deal with. It's a very hard disease to confront and to live with. And that
before you even get to the societal stuff, right?
Yes, that's correct. So first of all, it's this is not an easy journey to have to face. And then that gets to one of the reasons why, which is the list of symptoms and how they unfortunately interplay with societal and cultural assumptions. So I'm going to read to you some of the symptoms, and I think you'll immediately see how they relate to societal challenges. The symptoms are very diffuse: swollen or bloated abdomen, persistent pain in the pelvis, unexplained weight loss or weight gain, difficulty eating, pain during sexual intercourse, increased urination, constipation or diarrhea, vaginal bleeding or spotting between periods, changes in menstrual cycles, fatigue, back pain, unexplained exhaustion. Now, those symptoms basically fall into one of three categories. They're either things that the vast majority of women were told from the moment they had their first period, that's just what it means to be a woman.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And second, the second category of them is things that our society considers dirty. And so we're talking or undesirable in our culture. So abdominal bloating, for example, vaginal spotting, constipation, urination issues, diarrhea. So that's the second category. The first category is you're told ignore it. It's just what it means to be a woman.
Right.
The second category is you're told be embarrassed by it. And then the third category is related to sex. So pain during intercourse, changes in how your body feels in your gynecological system, in your sexual reproductive organs. So we've got the trifecta of societal disgust. Okay. Discarding women's challenges as unimportant, then discarding their symptoms as ew, and then third, sexual shaming. You add that together and you have a situation like Alice's, where at age 42, she said, I've had all of these symptoms very consistently on and off for a long time, and it never occurred to me that they would add up to something more than just my life as a woman.
And that is such a profound statement, Doug. And I can tell you from the standpoint of a woman in the career world, when I had 18 years within the educational system as a teacher, and I can remember being in staff meetings, in department meetings, where if I said something forcefully, I was accused of having PMS and my thoughts were dismissed.
Yes.
So women are routinely, and I'm 46, so we're not talking about my great granny, right? This isn't like in the era before women could vote. This is in my lifetime, in my experience. And I have personally encountered wanting to tamp down on legitimate expressions of emotion and confidence, and let alone actual feelings of some physical symptom. So the problem is just so multi-layered when it comes to women feeling like they can even express normal things, let alone, things that might be indicative of a health issue.
Yes. And it's as if this cancer was artfully designed specifically to exploit our most serious societal weaknesses when it comes to our treatment of women and their health. It literally weaves its way right through all of the shaming and the longstanding discarding and, quite frankly, the abuse that women have experienced when trying to understand, appreciate, and protect their own health first.
That is definitely going to pull that out as a quote at some point, because that's really, really important. And I think the corollary to that is, if this disease is seemingly designed to point out our greatest weaknesses, it can also be seemingly designed to point out our greatest opportunities to begin addressing them. It's It's a magnifying glass, and what
It
we do
is.
with what we see through it says a lot about who we are as a people, as a culture, and where we want to be going in our society.
And I'll give you an example of where I've felt personally both sides of that coin and tried to take my realization of the negative and turn it toward a positive. So on my personal Facebook profile, one of my little about statements is that I consider myself a recovering misogynist. And I've had friends say, "You're the least misogynistic person I know. Why would you say that?" And it's a legitimate question, but the answer is, we are all living in a misogynist society. We are all misogynists, okay? Because it's just like many of the challenges in our society. Like, I'm not sitting here saying, "Look at me, I'm a misogynist." What I'm saying is, I recognize, looking back through my marriage to Alice, that I, without even realizing it, assumed misogynistic behavior patterns and pre-existing assumptions about my wife. And one of them was that these were not important. It's not that even she brought them to my attention and I said, "Those aren't important." No, I wasn't that kind of husband. I'm proud to say I was the kind of husband who said, "They may be very important." It was that she didn't think they were important, and I didn't think that when I saw indications that she was in pain or that these issues were ongoing, that I didn't think to push harder, that I didn't think to try to help her more forcefully overcome the misogynistic assumptions, to put it in sociological terms. So, no, I did not cause the cancer. Alice did not cause the cancer. By no means was she trying to say she blames herself for her cancer or I'm blaming myself for her cancer. That's not the point. The point is, we have the power to change outcomes. And it is fair to say that if a number of things that we saw and observed over a long period of time in our married life had been handled differently, it is possible, still remote, but possible, that we could have had a different outcome. And it is important to understand that, so that the women who have men in their lives, those men become more aware and listening and attuned to the health needs of the women in their lives, because they need to understand that when the woman they care about goes to the doctor, goes to the workplace, goes to school, goes to any other situation, those concerns are going to be minimized. And the statistics back this up. We know this is happening.
And it's all the more important then for them to not be minimized within the home. That is our place of refuge and understanding and support. And that's really where all change begins. Is at the heart, and the home is the heart. So beautifully said. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit, Doug, about what the Cardinal Cancer Foundation has achieved already in the 2 short years that it has been in operation.
Sure. Yes. So I will address that first by saying that I encourage people to go to the website, which is cardinalcancer.org.
And we'll link to it.
Yes, absolutely. And explore, because we include facts about ovarian cancer. We include resources. We include more information about our mission. What have we already accomplished? Well, first of all, we've started to frame the conversation around ovarian cancer and around women's gynecological health in a new way. Okay, so first of all, we have 3 fundamental tenets that we are communicating. We have a downloadable PDF on our website. We've been promoting this on social media. We've been promoting this through partnerships. And the 3 steps are: number 1, see an OBGYN at least once a year, every year. Not a family practitioner or internist. I'll get a lot of guff from some physicians and medical societies for saying that, and I don't care. The evidence is clear. Every woman should see an OBGYN specialist at least once a year. Do not just lump your gynecological exam in with your family practice or internist exam. Number 2, if any of the symptoms that I described are things that you experience and you feel in your knower of knowers in the back of your brain that some of them seem to be more severe than what you might consider normal for your body and for your life as an adult, don't dismiss them. Start tracking them. Maybe they are nothing other than just the difficulty of this particular cycle, or, challenges that you have unrelated to your gynecological system. But maybe they're not. The only way we're going to know that is by tracking. So start tracking those symptoms and see if they add up to something that you think is more, and if so, insist on discussing with your doctor. And number three, of the three steps, if you are diagnosed with a gynecological cancer, and ovarian cancer in particular, you have to see a gynecological oncologist. The research shows that a gynecological oncologist outcome versus just regular oncology or general surgery outcome is night and day. So it's important to recognize the reason we have specialists in women's health is because women's health is special.
It's a specialty. It needs to be treated as such.
And it needs to be treated that way by women and by the practitioners responsible for their care.
Right.
So those are some of the things we focused on and accomplished. The other thing I'll mention is we have a very strong partnership with the Clarity Foundation, which is based in San Diego, California. It was founded by an ovarian cancer survivor who actually is doing great. And she's a PhD research scientist who's the CEO of a pharmaceutical company. And she started Clarity specifically to provide evidence-based support to women facing ovarian cancer. So a portion of our fundraising turns around and directs support to Clarity's frontline programs. For example, if you're a woman who is facing ovarian cancer, you and the people in your life who are providing care and support to you can receive free psychological and therapeutic support assistance from their program called Steps Through OC, Steps Through Ovarian Cancer. So we also are working very closely with organizations like Clarity to make an impact for women today, while we also work to make an impact for women tomorrow.
I love that. I love the fact that you're magnifying your impact by partnering with organizations that already have inroads in specific kinds of help that are needed by women facing this diagnosis.
Yes, thank you. It's very important to work together with others who are already having an impact and help, as you said, magnify.
Doug, how can people get involved in supporting the Cardinal Cancer Foundation?
Sure. So there are a couple of ways you can get involved. First of all, take this weekend to purchase some of the outstanding programs and services available from Marissa Pulselli. That is step number one. But if for any reason you want to get involved beyond that incredibly valuable and wonderfully helpful step, you can visit our website, cardinalcancer.org, and you can do a couple things. You can click on donate and make a donation. So that is available. And one thing I certainly want to encourage, you can also contact us. You can also visit our Facebook page or any of our social media profiles to connect with us there. And we are looking for volunteers. We're looking for people who have certain skills to contribute to our effort. We have a small, very dedicated board, and we're excited to find other people for whom this is a mission they care about.
Fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to say in parting, Doug, to wrap up our conversation?
Yes, I will say this. Alice took the challenge of this journey in great stride. And she knew that it was a learning opportunity, a learning experience. Unfortunately, it ended with her death, and it didn't have to. And so what I would say is this: we have an opportunity to empower women in our society to change the way they think about and act upon their health. And if there's anything that this conversation does for those who are listening and watching us, please think about that, how you can change how you take care of your own health as a woman, or help women in your life be more confident and more empowered to take their health needs seriously.
Perfectly said. Thank you so much, Doug. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your joining me this morning and all of the incredible work that you do through the Cardinal Cancer Foundation.
The honor is all mine, Marissa. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a marvelous day, and I'll look forward to continuing to be in touch about this and other important initiatives with the Cardinal Cancer Foundation. Have a great day, everybody.